You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Looking for these better days.
It is Monday, April 20th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. We are on to Game 2. The NBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, had an exciting weekend yesterday and Saturday. We still have one more Game 1 tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll get to all that, but we'll recap the action, talk about the best bets for today. It's also Patriots Day in Boston, which means an early start time for the Red Sox. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Mackenzie, we start in the NBA playoffs, where home teams dominate, with the exception of the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. 4 game ones, home team, or excuse me, 4 game ones on Saturday, 4 game ones on Sunday. Home teams go 7-1 straight up and against the spread. The only team that lost outright and didn't cover was the Detroit Pistons, getting upset by the Orlando Magic 112-101. More interestingly, so there's a lot of things to talk about here with these playoffs, all 8 games decided by double digits, Mackenzie. Even the Dogs winning outright in the Lakers against the Kevin Durant-less Rockets on Saturday, and the Magic yesterday against Detroit, even the Dogs winning by double digits. Every game decided by more than 10.
And this is a trend that we've seen for years, and as expedited, it's increased in its speed this year, which is not only are we seeing higher scoring games, like usually it's better for the favorite if you have more points, because then you have more points to divvy up among the two sides and the favorite can win, but we're also just seeing more disparate results, like a 10-point favorite losing by 20 literally never happened until a few years ago, and now it's not that crazy to see. So it wasn't a crazy scoring outburst. The trends of the playoffs being a completely different animal in terms of totals seems to make sense. We've saw mostly unders so far, but that doesn't necessarily mean that games are tight. It just means there's less points on the board.
Yeah, unders also, I think is it really 7-1 so far this season? Well, if you count the play-in round, I guess unders are 10-4, right? But just in the first round, I think are we 7-1?
And the one that I recommended, the one that I bet myself, went over. Cavs Raptors. Oh well.
That's hilarious. And you know something? That's the first one that we bet as well, which was the first game on that's hilarious.
I guess no, that's the only one. Yeah, the only one that went over.
7-1 the unders. The only game that went over was the first one that we bet, which that's hilarious.
Can't make this stuff.
But yeah, home teams go 7-1 straight up and against the spread. Unders lead the way at 7-1. And just, you can talk about Orlando and Detroit if you want, Mackenzie, but your biggest takeaway from the weekend was what? Which game surprised you the most? What was your biggest lesson learned from the game ones this weekend?
I think this is another illustration of why the first round is not completely necessary. All the games on Sunday, I feel like, are the championship contenders. The Celtics, the Thunder, and the Spurs were really in no-doubter games from the beginning, and I feel like those are the 3 teams that are serious contenders.
I agree. And yesterday we saw the 4 play-in teams, right? Four teams from the play-in play in Philly, Phoenix, Orlando, and Portland. and Orlando became just the 6th play-in team to win a game one, I should say, to win a game one. So with the I tweeted this out last night prior to the Trailblazers game, excuse me. So teams from the play-in round are now 6-18 all time, straight up 9-15 against the spread, and just the 6th time a team has won, and that was the Orlando Magic yesterday. I did some research, Mac, on now how to bet game number 2 in the NBA playoffs after game number 1. If you lose as a home favorite, just like the Detroit Pistons did yesterday, if you lose as a home favorite in game number 1, in game number 2, you are 15-6 straight up, 14-7 against the spread since the 2021 season. But now let's isolate it even further, Mackenzie. If it's in the first round,
right?
If you lose as the home favorite,
you're not supposed to lose as a home favorite in game one
of the first round. Since the 2021 season in game 2, you are 7-0 straight up and against the spread. And if you want to go back even further, since the 2017 season, 13-1 straight up and against the spread. Now, I will say that the zigzag has already been baked in. Mm-hmm. The Pistons were 8.5-point favorites in game number 1, and up on FanDuel right now, the Pistons on Wednesday night are 9.5-point favorites for game number 2.
And it seems insane. It seems like what did we learn from game 1? Is that the Magic can play with this team, and maybe they can. Maybe they'll win in 7, the Magic will. They're not going to win in game 2. We've just seen this over and over again. It makes so much sense. It's a little bit of the refs. I'm not going to say that's 0% to do with it. The Pistons will just everything will be lined up for them to tie this series up. It's just better for the overall product. They're the better team. They're going to be locked in. So the point move is a lot. I think is appropriate, and I don't think the value's gone taking the Pistons.
Now, I will say that if you looked at the majority of that game last night, and I was following along on Dunks and Threes, and because I was live on VSiN, live betting the game, and at the half, Orlando had a better true shooting percentage, but Detroit was still 74% to win the game.
Yeah.
And that was indicated by the live line. They were minus 220 to win the game, and then all of a sudden in the third quarter, they go on a run. But what happened was every time Detroit clawed back, Orlando would then do something. So Detroit then made it at one point, 70-68. And you thought, here they go. They come up with one stop. Then the Detroit's either going to tie it or take the lead. But Orlando hits a 3, and then they pull within 4 late. And then Orlando gets a 3-point play. There was so many times where you thought Detroit was coming back and then going to take over the game, but Orlando did something or did just enough to maintain their lead. But if you looked at the majority of the game, I know the final score doesn't tell the tale, the box score doesn't tell the tale, but if you take out the first few minutes of the first quarter and the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, the Pistons outplayed the Magic. Orlando got off to a very hot start in the first 5 minutes of the game. They were 7 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point range. What's his face? Jalen Suggs hit his first 2 3-pointers and then missed his next 7. But the Magic just couldn't miss early on. And then the final minute, the garbage time, that was when Detroit was just chucking up threes and Orlando was just getting runaway baskets to pad their lead. So I don't even count the final minute or so. But if you take out that first, couple of minutes where Orlando just got off to a hot start and the Pistons started 1 of 7 from the field, well, it's a different story.
And the Pistons are the kind of team you saw Cade Cunningham put up 27 shots, 39 points. That's not the way they want to play a game. That's the way they're going to play a game if they're trailing, if they're chasing the game, if they're trying to make something happen. Very much like a football team with a good running game. If they get ahead 7 points and can kind of dictate things to the Magic, that's why I think it's a good bet laying the 9.5. If they lose this game, I wouldn't be shocked. But if they win, I feel like they kind of assert themselves in the second half and pull away.
Okay, let's take a look at some other zigzag spots. And again, the zigzag has been built in by the sportsbooks, but there could be opportunities to take advantage of the zigzag or the lack thereof. Game number 2 tonight between the Cavaliers and the Raptors. You mentioned it, Mac. It's the only game in the first round that went over.
Yep.
It's, of course, and that's the one that we had under. The Cavs win game number 1, 126-113. They were 8.5-point favorites in that game number 1. There has been no adjustment on the spread here for game number 2. Up on FanDuel tonight, the Cavs, 8.5-point favorites over the Raptors, total of 222.5.
So the zigzag would dictate it goes to 7.5, maybe because the Raptors are. But here's the thing about the Raptors. They've kind of played with 100% intensity the entire season. That's why they were able to go 13 games over their win total. They were just kind of a team expected to be more like a tanking team that was just all in. I don't think they can kind of flip the intensity up. And that's why, even though they should be extra mad, extra really want to even the series up, they just can't hang with these guys in Cleveland. So they had a lead up until the third quarter, and then they let go of the rope. I wouldn't be shocked to see the same thing happen again here.
Tonight, we also have game number 2 between the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks, where the Knicks were 6 to 6.5-point favorites in game number 1. They win 113-102, and that was despite Atlanta going on an 11-0 run in the final minutes, where the Knicks went from having a 19-point lead to having an 8-point lead, and we actually had to sweat out our bet of Knicks -6, but they still hold on to cover. Knicks now 5.5-point favorites up on FanDuel against the Hawks tonight. This one does not make sense to me, Mackenzie, because there was nothing that I saw in that game tells me that it's going to play out differently. In fact, what I saw in the Hawks going on that 11-0 run and the Knicks blowing that lead actually tells me that the Knicks starters are going to play all the way through the end, and there's going to be an emphasis on not blowing a lead late in the fourth quarter. So if anything, I actually like the Knicks even more in this game.
I could see that. I don't think that the Hawks have necessarily another gear, just like the Raptors didn't. However, from a purely mathematical point of view, I could see why the market's adjusting the way it is. The Knicks shoot 48% from 3, 12 for 25, where the Hawks were only 38% from 3. So maybe with a little bit better three-point luck, they lose by 7. But I would still lean to that Knicks here with you.
And the final game 2 tonight, it is Denver over Minnesota. Denver was a 7.5-point favorite in game 1. They won 116-105. They are now a 6.5-point favorite here in game number 2. So the zigzag being built in here as well.
Yeah, and the Timberwolves were up by 10 in the first quarter and ended up losing by 11. So they really got blown out the last 3 quarters of the game. They've historically, under Finch, been a really difficult puzzle for Jokic to solve. I think he kind of solved it. He used to never go over 8 assists with the Timberwolves the way they played him with Gobert. He gets 11 in the last game. I know this because I've bet his under assist in this matchup a while. I didn't game 1. But I think, because I think he's figured it out. So I think maybe the Nuggets team total over, or maybe just cruise in game 2 and get the win.
Any feeling on the totals here in these games? So Cleveland, we mentioned the only game that went over.
Yep.
That number was 222. The number tonight is 222.5. Denver and Minnesota game number 1 went under 232.5. That number tonight is 231.5. Knicks and Hawks went under 217.5, and it is the same number here, 217.5.
Historically, game 2s are the most over game in the series. And I do think Hawks-Knicks, which was that weird time of day, going 3 points under the total, probably because of the 7 other unders and the 1 over. The market has moved this down, and I think it really shouldn't have moved down. It's at a normal time of day, 8 o'clock Eastern. A team that's seen each other, so there's no surprises. I feel like maybe the Knicks don't shoot 48% from 3, but I feel like the Hawks get some more up. I like the over in that game.
Okay, I like the over in the first game between the Knicks and the Hawks, and it almost got there with some free throws late in the game. I couldn't believe that. But, yep, just 3 game 2s on your schedule tonight in the NBA. In the NHL, Stanley Cup playoff action. I bet every series, by the way, Mackenzie, in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like, I literally bet the winner of every single series in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And
how's
so
your
far
portfolio looking? Yeah.
I'm off to a decent start. So yesterday, the Avalanche were minus 600. I didn't bet them in that series. That one was just whatever, right? Avalanche win 2-1 over the Kings. I bet the Canadiens to win the series against the Lightning at plus 200. Canadiens win game 1 in overtime, 4-3. Shout out Juraj Slavkovsky, who cashed a couple of props for us. He had a hat trick in that win yesterday. I bet the Sabres to win the series over the Bruins. They had a miraculous comeback and won game 1, 4-3 yesterday. I bet the Knights over the Mammoth. They win game 1 yesterday, 4-2. I did take the Senators at a nice plus 150 price to win the series against the Hurricanes, but they dropped game 1 on Saturday, 2-0. I bet the Wild at a short dog price against the Stars. They won game 1, 6-1, and I laid the juice with the Penguins to win the series against the Flyers, but the Flyers took game 1, 3-2. So we have 3 game 2s tonight, and we have 1 game number 1. The game number 1 is the night game tonight. That's the Ducks at the Oilers, where Edmonton is minus 180. I actually bet the Ducks to win this series, Mackenzie. So
Quack.
Quack, quack. Let's go Ducks. Game 2's tonight. The Flyers are at the Penguins. Pittsburgh minus 155 favorites. Senators at the Hurricanes. Carolina minus 148. And the Wild at the Stars. Dallas minus 135. Now, I did the same research in the NHL that I did in the NBA. If you lost at home in game number 1 since the start of the 2021 season, you follow up in game 2 going 17-8 straight up, 15-10 on the puck line. So that would be the Pittsburgh Penguins with and the Dallas Stars with losses at home in their game number 1s. And then isolated some things if you lost as the favorite in game number 1. So that would be the Pittsburgh Penguins. Wild Stars was kind of close, but the Stars, I guess, technically were the favorite. But that was like one of those situations where it was like, kind of juiced almost both ways. Like, it was a very close line there. But the Penguins were favored over the Flyers. If you lost as the favorite in game number 1, you're 17-11 straight up in game number 2, 15-13 though on the puck line. There is a sweet spot that I saw in doing some research, Mackenzie, on game number 3s in the playoffs. So in the NHL, since the 2021 season, if you lost both games 1 and 2 as the favorite, and then you are favored again in game number 3, so that could happen with the with the Stars tonight. It could happen with the Penguins tonight, right? Because the Penguins and Stars both lost game 1 as favorite. Now, I don't know if the Penguins would be favored in Philadelphia or if the Stars would be favored in Minnesota. The Stars definitely wouldn't be favored in Minnesota. Maybe the Penguins would be a small favorite in Philadelphia. But anyway, if that situation happens, those teams 0-7 on the puck line in game number 3. So we would be taking the Dogs plus a goal and a half would be a pretty interesting angle. But that's a rare situation.
It's the zig-zag.
That may not happen. Yeah.
It's essentially the
zig-zag. It's a rare situation. May not happen. I guess it could happen with the Lightning also, who lost at home yesterday to the Montreal Canadiens. But hey, playoff hockey, baby. There's absolutely nothing better. Major League Baseball, we have an early day game today, Mackenzie. You know why? Because today is April 20th. And no, it's not because people are getting high on 420.
No, that's not the reason either.
No. It is the third Monday in April.
Oh.
which means that in Boston, it is the running of the Boston Marathon.
Yes, sir.
And that it also means it is Patriots Day in Boston. And the whole city shuts down. It's a big party. Obviously, people go to the marathon. But also, the Boston Red Sox play their annual Patriots Day home game. It is an 11:10 a.m. first pitch between the Red Sox and the Tigers today. Sonny Gray on the mound for the Red Sox. Jack Flaherty going for the Tigers. Red Sox minus 130 favorites. Your total is at 8. Some books already have 7.5 for the total with this early start time. I got to go with the Red Sox.
We did it last
Patriots
year.
Day.
We did it the year before.
Can't bet against the Red Sox. So here's the history of just the last couple of years, because it's been up and down, right?
I remember looking this up last year, and whatever it was good enough for me to decide to bet it, and it won. So
yeah. So when it's a start time of 11:30 a.m. or earlier, right, and they're home, we have to isolate. It's not a playoff game, obviously. Yep. History of the database. The Sox are 11-9 straight up. They did win last year, but that was the first win in a couple of years. They lost to the Guardians the year before.
Yeah, maybe there was some slice of it, like when they're favored, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's there was something. It used to be. Because
I didn't bet it last year because it was 11-10 or it was 10-9. There was some other convincing slice. Oh well.
It's now, let's see, they are 11-8 to the over actually here. But overall, their history on Patriots Day is like really good. Like, it's just recent history. Recent games have not been bad. But let's see, Red Sox Patriots Day record, let's see, is all time, and we're talking going back to the 60s or whatever, right? Even before that, because they used to have double headers back in the day for Patriots Day. 72-56 all-time record.
All right, there we go.
That's pretty good, right?
That's like what, 67%, 66%. I'll take. Wait, I didn't do that. I didn't do that math right. Never mind.
That's okay.
56%. 56.
It's all time. It's an all-time record. But again, like I said, they used to play double headers back in the day, and then they switched it to a single game at like 11 a.m. in the morning. It's just an awkward start time for everybody. Looking at the past couple of games here, right? Like it's as mentioned, the overs have happened, but let's see, 5.5 runs. Average total's been high. It's at 9.5. We had two consecutive unders though that broke up a streak of overs here on Patriots Day. So I like the Red Sox here. I like Sonny Gray on the mound. A little bit more familiarity with the Red Sox. It just means more for them.
Just means more.
They won the game last year. They'll win the game again this year. As always, you can head to the MLB page up on betterday.com. Take a look at our MLB Game Center for the projections for this game and every game on the schedule every single day. The prop projections continue to deliver for our Better Day Insider and Premium members, and we are extending, due to popular demand, or popular request, maybe, we are extending our promo, Mackenzie. If you go to our homepage at betterday.com and you scroll down, you will see the promo for our Major League Baseball Game Center. Right now, you can sign up and become a Better Day Insider at a significantly discounted rate. It is a limited time offer. We were only going to run it through the weekend, but it has been requested to be extended here to start this week. So if you're interested, go to betterday.com, click on the link on our homepage, take advantage of our limited time offer, join up and become a Better Day Insider and see what the MLB Game Center is all about. And oh, by the way, when you sign up, you get access to everything that we do. Not just the MLB Game Center, the NBA Game Center, which delivers the prop projections as well. All of our tools and resources available at betterday.com.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets just for getting started. And when every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props and your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up, FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/believe. That's BLEAV to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DC, Kentucky, Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org and call 800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 877-770-7867 in Louisiana.
Well, it's also NFL Draft Week, Mackenzie, and on Saturday we had some breaking news in the NFL which completely shakes up the first round of the NFL Draft. The New York Giants trading Dexter Lawrence to the Cincinnati Bengals in exchange for the 10th overall pick in Thursday's first round, which means the Giants now have pick number 5 and number 10 on Thursday. We're going to do some more draft stuff tomorrow. It'll probably be like the only real draft stuff that we do as far as giving out some draft bets because, as you know, Mac, it's getting harder and harder to get down bets on the NFL Draft.
Yep.
Most books here in Vegas don't even want to book it. They literally have such a limited offering, and even the places that do have the odds available for the NFL Draft, even our friends over at FanDuel, like it's not an extensive menu. And I mean, FanDuel. I mean, let's be fair. FanDuel actually does have a pretty large menu of draft bets, but it's not in every state. And so you might have to get creative and look in to see what's active in your state, what's allowed in your state. You might have to take advantage of the prediction markets, but here in Vegas, it's almost like a non-bettable event anymore. Like it used to be something that you can make a ton of money on, and now it's very hard to get down on the NFL Draft.
There was just an asymmetric reality of anyone that's betting it seriously knows what they're doing, or they're following people that know what they're doing. So the books were just getting beat. And that's why prediction markets, where you're kind of playing not against the book, but against other players, and you're taking advantage of other players and not the book, are the last ones left that really are taking significant action. And the good people at FanDuel. Giving, bettors everywhere options.
Yes, there is a large menu up on FanDuel. And with the Giants now having the number 5 and number 10 pick, a lot of people thought that Caleb Downs, the safety, was going to be the pick by the New York Giants at 5. But now that they have number 10, maybe they don't have to reach for Caleb Downs at 5, and they could take the linebacker Sonny Styles up on FanDuel right now. Sonny Styles is plus 200. He's the favorite to be the number 5 overall pick. Caleb Downs is the second favorite at plus 290. But then if you look to see who the favorite is to be the number 10 overall pick, that is Caleb Downs. So plus 300 up on FanDuel. So the Giants could decide to make those moves. That's what's been projected. There's also the idea that they could utilize this draft capital to maybe move up or move down in the draft. I think a very interesting name is Jeremiah Love, the running back of Notre Dame. Right now, Jeremiah Love is the favorite at minus 105 to be drafted 4th overall, and that pick is currently held by the Tennessee Titans. But what if the Giants want Jeremiah Love? Do you think the Giants could move with numbers 5 and 10, maybe leapfrog the Titans at 4, go to the number 3 overall pick and take Jeremiah Love 3rd overall? If you think that's a possibility, Mackenzie, looking at FanDuel, Jeremiah Love is plus 900 to be the number 3 overall pick. I think it's worth a flyer if you believe the rumors that the Giants are linked to Jeremiah Love.
They are the ones that drafted Saquon Barkley. They're the ones that traded Saquon Barkley. And a common theme with Saquon Barkley, who was it last year with ended up going to the Raiders, Genti, the Falcons running back from Texas, Bijan, all of them were like, well, we can't. And same thing with the Lions. The consensus always tells you these guys cannot be drafted top 10 because you can't draft running backs that high. And then some team convinces themselves and they do. So would not be shocked to see Love go top 5 or higher.
Well, he's going to go top 5. Like, he's that special of a player, and every mock is projecting him to go 4th overall. And that's the thing, like 4th overall to the Tennessee Titans.
Wait, he's projected to go 4th overall. We're getting 9-1 on 3rd overall.
Yes,
that seems like it seems possible. Seems very possible.
But that's because it's like position need. Like, Arizona is not going to draft a running back, right? And the question is, the Giants now have number 5 and number 10. And if they want to get ahead of Tennessee at number 4,
gotcha,
to move from 5 to 3 is pretty easy when you have the 10th overall pick also.
Yep.
Right? So if that's what they want, maybe that's interesting. I will say this, and this is the best piece of betting advice that I've ever gotten in regards to the NFL draft. And it was told to me by a former NFL general manager. And he said, anything that you hear the week of the NFL draft is because somebody wants you to hear.
Yep.
Now, who that somebody is, we don't know. Is it an agent? Is it the player themselves? Is it the general managers? Is it a coach? Whoever's leaking something. Anything you hear the week of the draft is because somebody somewhere wants you to hear it. Nobody is coming up with a scoop somewhere because an intern in the building leaked the draft board and the Adam Schefters of the world are saying, hey, according to my sources, we found out that it is in fact Arvell Reese to the New York Jets with the 2nd overall pick, right? Like, no, like
pretty good chef. Pretty good chef.
Thank you. Any information that you hear the week of the draft, whether it could be the rumor that I'm even floating here, the Giants with Jeremiah Love, it's because somebody somewhere floated that out there for a reason, and now it's like, being written about in articles and talked about on
Remember
podcasts.
Will Levis going number 1? Who wanted that out? Probably Will Levis's agent. But yeah, there's always a silly season this time of year. I think that's wise words to live by.
Yeah. So just be careful when it comes to the NFL draft. I mean, look, I got a couple of texts and tweets asking like, oh, when are we going to start here on the pod and in the newsletter and giving out like NFL draft bets?
It's just not what it used to be. It's not what it used to be.
And here's the thing, like, it's a lot of effort. Like, listen, I don't want to sound like a dick, Mackenzie, right? But the amount of money that I bet yesterday on the NBA playoffs, I would never be able to get an NFL draft bet down.
Right.
Like, I'm even if I like used a proxy and asked a friend and did whatever, like they're not. What am I going to get down on? What am I doing all this work for so that I can put a $25 bet down on who's going to be the 5th overall pick? Like, no. Instead, I'm going to look at the situations and the props in the NBA and Major League Baseball and the NHL, and I'm going to bet Yaroslav Slavkovsky to go over 2.5 shots on goal and watch the guy get a freaking hat trick, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, it's just there's a lot better ways to spend your energy. I know football's king, and I know we love football. We're begging for football. We can't wait for football season. There are better ways to spend your time and your energy than studying to bet things that you're really not going to be able to get down a lot on. And most states don't even have, the options available. Right. So for our listeners that do have the options available, great, more power to you. On tomorrow's show, we will give out the final draft bets that we're seeing, because also the markets close. Well, at least here in Vegas, they close 24 hours before the draft.
Yep.
So on like literally tomorrow is the last day you can bet the NFL draft. You can't bet the NFL draft on Wednesday. The markets close. So another reason why it just isn't the same profitability that it was, in previous years here in town. But we will have some draft stuff. We will.
Yeah, and
we
it's
will give
it's
you guys
good
some insight.
to get just a read of the room on the league. The win totals are out, so it's a good time to recheck into the league, see what teams are doing.
Absolutely. All right, don't forget, we are still running that promo for our Major League Baseball Game Center. Now, when you go to our homepage at betterday.com and you sign up using the promo, you get access to everything that we do up on betterday.com. It's not just for the Game Center. It's for everything. Sign up, become a Better Day Insider today, get access to all the tools that we have, and take advantage of our limited time offer available right now up on betterday.com. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.